Hello, thank you for joining Georgia Hires, the Career Tune-Up. I'm Raven Lee. I'll be your host during this series where we explore why you aren't getting that promotion. Welcome back as we wrap up our series on why you may not be getting promoted. This is our final video, and we've discussed a lot of things, as you can see, during this series, but we want to wrap it up with this final video on the last thing that we have to offer, and that is it may not be you. All things considered, you watched this series, you've weighed your actions against what we've talked about, and something's not quite measuring up. Well, we want to dive into that a little deeper and talk about reasons why you may not have gotten the promotion that have nothing to do with you or your performance. Number one, the position may not have been right for your skills and abilities, and you may have dodged a bullet. Sometimes we want to get promoted because, one, money, or two, because we want the title, but the position really isn't a right fit for us. And so in that instance, you've actually dodged a bullet, and you should consider just making sure that when you do apply for your next promotion, that is something that's in line with your skills and your passion, and that it's going to be fulfilling, and it's going to set you up to go to where you want to go in your career. Number two, you were up against another internal candidate and a decision had to be made. Maybe you two had the same skill set and they just, for whatever reason, were a better fit. That really has nothing to do with your performance or who you are as an individual and how you show up. It's just a decision had to be made, and on this decision, you ended up on the short end of the stick. That's okay. Dust yourself off, ask for feedback. Don't let anger get in the way of you reaching out and finding out what that feedback is, and then going forward and continuing your career, continuing to show up 100%, and continuing to set yourself up so that when the next promotion comes available, you can put your name in the hat for it as well. Number three could just be timing and policy issues. Maybe you haven't been in your current role long enough to even move out of that role into something else. Sometimes those policies suck because, we get caught on the wrong side of them, but they exist for a reason. And so sometimes that has nothing to do with you. You're just on the wrong side of policy or on the wrong side of timing. So again, don't get discouraged. Continue to show up and continue to be ready for that next promotion when you do have enough time in position to apply again. Number four is one that I hate that we even have to discuss in the first place. But sometimes you just have blockers who don't want to see you progress. In these situations, it may be a person who sits in the conversations on who should be promoted, and for whatever reason, they've deemed you as someone they're not going to promote or advocate for. In this situation, you can do one or two things. You can look within your organization and see if there's another department that you can move into that this blocker will not be able to influence. Or you may have to look at exploring opportunities outside of the company and leaving. You don't want to sit in a position for very long where you're being blocked from advancing and development. So if you are in this position, think long and hard about your next move, because you need to make one. And that is very important to your development and growth in that company and in your career. So thank you for joining us in this series of why you may not be getting promoted. Look for additional series that we're coming out with in the future, and we are so glad you joined us. Thanks.